Amid the continued economic downturn in China, characterized by high unemployment rates and sluggish consumer spending, a widespread wave of physical store closures is intensifying across the country. Industries including department stores, supermarkets, convenience stores, restaurants, and shopping centers are all affected. In some areas, nearly 90% of the shops on entire commercial streets have shut down, with even banks unable to sustain operations and are moving out.
Where are the people from Ping An Bank? This was a pretty big branch, and it's moved out. There was also this Lang Lang food store. It's closed now. What's happening? It's the end of the year, and everything is shutting down. The paper barbecue restaurant, the self-service hot pot store, all closed. The early education center, the business department, all closed. So many shops are in decline. Is this because of winter? This is the busiest area of Xishan Square in Xishan District. But there's hardly anyone around. Every industry is struggling. Even the auction shops and this hot pot restaurant have closed. Peanut car rental also closed. Everything's shutting down by the end of the year. This shop is up for auction. And even this big CITIC bank has moved. The only place that seems to be doing some business is this beef seller. JD Electronics is still open, but there's nobody inside.
A netizen in Kunming, Yunnan province, located in the bustling area of Xishan district, shared footage showing that less than 10% of the shops are still open. Even well-established banks like Ping An and CITIC have had to move out due to the economic decline. Those few businesses that remain open are experiencing bleak sales and struggling to survive.
The economy is really terrible this year. Coming to this mall, almost 99% of the stores have closed down. Hardly any businesses are operating. Just look around. Does this look like a mall to you? It's almost like a ghost town. In this mall, only this half-day use store is still open. The rest are all empty. So, I really advise everyone against starting a business this year. Don't jump from one pitfall to another. Look at the situation now. It's really tough. See, such a large gym has closed down. Thousands of square meters, all gone. I had a 3-year membership at this gym, but it closed after just over a year. The movie theater has also closed down. The whole mall, look, it's all dark. So, if you're thinking of investing or starting a business, you really need to be cautious. The economy is different from previous years. The population is decreasing. The economy is in decline. And if you invest, you might end up losing double of what you put in.
A video blogger in Shanghai interviewed several street-side shops, with nearly all of them stating that business is much more challenging compared to previous years. Due to poor sales, many shops frequently change ownership, opening and closing repeatedly. Things are proving too much even for long-established stores.
I just asked some nearby shops, and they all say the same thing. Business is tough this year. Nobody's coming in. Everyone's tight on money, and there are hardly any jobs. Unemployment is a big problem. It's getting harder and harder to run a physical business. It's 8:50 p.m., and there are very few shops open on this whole commercial street, including those upstairs. Not even the chain stores. This was an expensively built commercial street that opened just this year, and it's completely dead now. CG Restaurant and the one in front, Wenhe Yu Restaurant, don't have a single customer.
Another video shared by a delivery worker in Shanghai revealed that he receives very few orders a day, indicating tough times for businesses. Almost all the takeaway restaurants on this particular street have closed down.
This street is mostly for Meituan deliveries. See? For lease. They couldn't keep going. This one too, for lease. These as well, even though they're open, they hardly get any orders. Nothing's going well, everything's closed. Look, for lease, closed, all like this. The other side is the same, hardly any can keep going.
Rent is too expensive in Shanghai 2023. Jobs are hard to find. Business is tough. No choice but to return home. So the Shanghai homecoming wave started early. Those working in factories and those laid off at the end of the year all went back home. It's due to the broader economic situation. It's not just Shanghai. Many places are in decline. Everyone talks about looking forward to 2024, but I can't see ahead. I only know that if you can earn more, you have confidence and dare to spend. But if you earn less, you go out less, spend less, the market's not lively, businesses struggle to operate, jobs are hard to find, income drops. When income drops, you're even more scared to go out, so many places are not as lively as before. In a recent case in Shanghai, a 25-year-old entrepreneur invested 800,000 yuan in a mutton noodle restaurant, only to face losses of 600,000 to 700,000 yuan within just 6 days, pushing the restaurant towards closure. He explained that he came to Shanghai with his parents and initially started a breakfast restaurant before venturing into this new endeavor. He thought high foot traffic would guarantee business success, which led to his significant investment in the mutton noodle restaurant. However, due to its scant customer flow and high operational cost, including a monthly rent of 90,000 yuan, he found it unsustainable, with no one willing to take over the business. This news resonated with netizens, with one questioning the feasibility of turning a profit with such high rent, needing at least 100 customers a day just to break even. Another netizen commented that given the current economic environment, the probability of incurring losses in any investment is over 70%, advising against making hasty investment decisions. Turning to Beijing, a netizen lamented the empty state of rows of shops in the city, once a location where finding a shop was challenging. A video blogger in Beijing discovered that even the historically significant traditional Chinese medicine store, Tongren Tang, a century-old brand, had closed its doors.
I passed by here the other day and was shocked to find that the Beijing Tongren Tang in Xirqi, open for over a decade, has closed down. Everything inside is cleared out. I used to buy supplements like astragalus here, trusting in this century-old brand. For a big brand like Beijing Tongren Tang to face this, you can imagine the pressure on street-side shops and businesses. Actually, in these 3 years of the pandemic, our problems or diseases are not just physical, but also mental. The emotional trauma is often harder to heal. The World Trade Center in Beijing really looks desolate now. Look at this. What used to be all of Beijing looks up to this. But now what's there to see? All the floors are empty. Even Sephora has closed down. There's nothing left.
As for Shenzhen, once China's first special economic zone and a leading city in manufacturing, the situation is just as bad. In recent years, with the global shift in industrial chain and policies like replacing dragons with birds in Guangzhou, many factories were either forced to relocate or close down. The outflow of low-end manufacturing and the lack of development in high-end industries have led to increasing unemployment and a diminishing number of migrant workers. This has resulted in a deteriorating business environment and a decline in the physical economy. The once vibrant city is visibly declining.
This is Songgang town in Shenzhen. Under the bridge here used to be really lively, but now, look, there are hardly any people. The shops beside the bridge have all closed down. What's going on? The shops along this street too, all closed. It's really sad here, all closed. This is the old street of Songgang. Look down this street, all the shops are closed, so quiet. Apart from passers-by, there's hardly anyone else. The streets in the center of Songgang town are also much quieter than before.
Let me show you this entire mall. Look, is there anyone here? Similarly, the situation in Guangzhou is not optimistic.
I'm now at Baiyun Wanda Plaza Jin Street. Look, out of 10 shops, about 6 or 7 are closed. And today is Sunday. You see, hardly anyone is shopping. Look, the further you go, the fewer shops are open. Many are closed. So, this also proves that the economy is not doing well. Everyone's short on money, too scared to spend. Everyone's tightening their belts.
Nationwide, the closure of physical stores this year has been a widespread phenomenon affecting cities of all sizes without exception.
This is the new Chaoyang Commercial Plaza in Nanning, Guangxi. Great location, right in the city center. Even the subway comes here. But why isn't business doing well? Those who had to pull out, pulled out. Those who had to close, closed. Only a few strong ones are holding on. When Flame Mountain just opened, it was crowded. But now, where are the people? Gone. Look, the atrium there sells clothes, shoes, and some handicrafts. Upstairs, there are too many closed shops. It was once so bustling, now it's all quiet.
This lady is from a third-tier city in the northern part of Jiangsu province, which, like many other places, is witnessing a surge in physical store closures. This is a mall near my home. The shops are closing and opening and closing. Many are still empty. Many have for lease signs. On the first floor, there are clothing, beauty, food, and kids' rides. I asked a girl selling gold, how's business? She said she doesn't know what's going on this year. Even trying to sell a few thousand yuan a month is hard. I walked around the mall, really not many people coming in to buy stuff. More just come to eat. Look, even the restroom is in such bad shape. During the past 3 years of the pandemic, the extreme containment measures by the Chinese Communist Party severely impacted physical stores. Even after the lifting of restrictions, China's economic recovery has been weaker than anticipated. This year, the country has fallen into a state of deflation, characterized by weak domestic and foreign demand. Consequently, in this context, physical stores are experiencing successive waves of closures, affecting not only small shops, but also many big brand stores. Once bustling commercial streets are now nearly deserted, with for lease signs becoming a common sight. Many voices, especially from CCP media, attribute the closure of physical stores to the impact of e-commerce. While this is undoubtedly a factor, a more pressing reality is a widespread reluctance to spend money. A report by the South China Morning Post on December 26 stated that millions of China's middle class are tightening their belts, refraining from spending money until a solid economic recovery is seen. Amidst a sluggish real estate market and dim commercial confidence, the post-pandemic economy is grappling with ongoing deflation risk. Even relatively affluent Chinese are no longer as keen on investing or spending as before. A small business owner named Huo from Shenzhen in southern China commented, "With the stock market and property market languishing, almost all investment are shrinking and nobody dares to spend money. The economy is bad, so everyone is worried about the future. Why should I spend money? Buying a few more clothes or pieces of jewelry can't boost consumption." Recently, an online article went viral. It is titled, "The Next 3 Years, Please Hold On to Your Wallets, Lower Your Desires," and advised that the best approach for ordinary people in the coming years is to proactively reduce their financial burdens and downgrade their lifestyles. A trending internet term, the 3 killers of the middle class, refers to investing in commercial real estate, quitting a job to start a business, and full-time stock trading. Many people, overly optimistic about the economic situation, blindly invest, ultimately losing even their stable livelihoods. The author recounts the stories of 2 friends facing economic hardships. One friend, a high-level executive at a trading company in Shenzhen, earned an annual salary of 1 million yuan. His wife was a full-time homemaker, and they had 2 children. Last year, considering their eldest child's education, they decided to sell their small house and purchase a better one in a desirable school district. However, when they struggled to sell their property, they borrowed 1.5 million yuan from friends to took out a loan of 2 million yuan to buy the new house. Unexpectedly, shortly after purchasing the new house, the friend was laid off. Despite submitting hundreds of job applications, he received no responses. With a family to support and nearly 20,000 yuan in monthly mortgage repayments, his severance pay was quickly depleted. Once a middle-class elite, he was forced to stop mortgage payments and borrow money to get by. Another friend, a technical specialist in a large bank earning over 10,000 yuan per month, decided to invest in a chain restaurant project on a friend's advice. He spent over 400,000 yuan of his savings and took loans from 3 banks for the investment. However, the pandemic struck and the investment failed, resulting in a total loss of the principal and leaving him with a significant debt to the banks. The author suggests for the coming years, eliminate debt and reduce credit card usage, avoid making investment blindly and opt for conservative investment strategies, never bet everything on one venture, and ensure savings to cover 1 to 2 years of living expenses. The disappearance of the middle class and the struggles of the lower class to survive are evident. The trend of frugality has replaced the previous flaunting of wealth. Netizens share their cost-saving tactics, waiting for discounted late-night convenience store meals, cutting their own hair, keeping all clothing within 100 yuan, using every last drop of toothpaste and face wash. Many who have experienced unemployment and crisis are now living more consciously, finding security in savings rather than in spending. In the coming years, various challenges await. For many Chinese, saving vigorously is a way to ensure some certainty in an uncertain future. Some say consumer demand is the ultimate engine for economic circulation, but this requires income to support spending power. In the current climate of ongoing economic decline in China, unemployment and salary cuts are widespread issues, affecting even those in supposedly secure government jobs. The so-called middle class, once the backbone of the consumer market, is now overwhelmed by high mortgages and car loans, almost losing their purchasing power. Even those with some savings are too scared to spend, intimidated by the current political and economic climate, and preferring to save for future security. Hence, with the public reluctant to spend, economic circulation fails to gain momentum. This leads to a vicious cycle of overproduction. Factory layoffs increase unemployment and reduce income, and further depressed consumption. Therefore, the wave of physical store closures is set to continue with no end in sight to the hardship faced by the people.